Hello Libra friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Libra November 2025 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. In this report, I'm going to go into what it will be like to be a Libra in this month, and I've got lots of details for you to help you make it the best month possible. This is for you if Libra is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Libra placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. Very late degree Libra friends, so birthdays like October 15th through the rest of the sign, or 23-degree Libra placements through the rest of the sign. I suggest you additionally listen to my Scorpio report, as you very cuspy friends will benefit from both readings. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Annie Botticelli. I've been doing astrology for a long time, over 20 years, and I've been teaching for almost all of that time. So I'm excited to show you not just why or what things may happen, but also why. And while you are listening, just jump over in another window and go to anniehelpsyou.com right now and pick up your free November star report with my sweet and salty dates. I am going to give you a lot of dates in this report here now, but if you want everything written down so you don't have to keep track of it, plus more information about the best and the worst aspects of the month, then go to anniehelpsyou.com and pick up that free report. Okay, so we've got two zodiac stars this month, Sagittarius and Scorpio. We're going to talk about the general implications of those transits, but also where they're heading specifically for Libra. Two important things to note about this month is that we are finally out of eclipse season. So our nervous systems get to rest a little bit from having gone through whatever went on for you all in recent months. And now the integration into the new normal has already happened and you're moving along on your path. Also, for the last few months, we've had more salty, or as I like to call them salty, but they're challenged aspects compared to sweet ones. But this month, we get our ratio right. So we do have more sweet aspects compared to salty ones this month. And so you will be feeling that too. So that is very exciting. A lot of emotional energy from Scorpio. We've got the Sun, Mars just at the beginning here, Black Moon, Lilith. We've got the new moon in Scorpio on November 19th. That's at 28 degrees. So a lot of emotion, a lot of deep connections. Scorpio rules the 8th house, which is also ruled by Pluto, which has to do with other people's money, shared resources, loans, debt, lending, government money, spousal money, family money, wills, inheritances, lotto, all of that. The deep, mysterious system of money and exchange, and also of deep resources like what is mined under the earth. That is the type of energy that is front and foremost at this time. The sun is there bringing a big focus to this, as I'm calling it, the labyrinth, because really the theme for this month, from the general astrology standpoint, I'm calling the lantern in the labyrinth, and the Scorpio energy is the labyrinth. And all of this deep joint financial focus is lighting up your house of personal finances this month. So every single thing I just listed of these Scorpio placements are all moving through your Libra personal Taurus second house. So it's not just about other people's money. It's about your self-worth, your value, your earning power, your spending, your budgeting, your purchase of material items, your connection with the material world, including the earth, the eco connections, this farming. I like to call this house the house of the makers. Anyone that makes stuff with their hands. If you are a maker or want to be, this may be a time of flourishing, because things that go on, whether it's gardening with your hands or making whatever it is that you make, this time is so full of opportunities, and it's very financially based. Okay, so there's big money month. Something from a material perspective that you've been wanting for a while may come in this month, or you may be planning at this time for future purchases and making those research plans and the budgeting moves now. Before we go further, there is one other important thing we really need to know about this month, because it's the lens that you're going to look at the whole month through, which is the Mercury retrograde lens. And I'm going to make us have some googly eyes here, because when Mercury's in retrograde, things get a little bonkers. If we're trying to make things happen, all right? So things get a little mixed up, communication gets a little mixed up, appliances go haywire, and we're looking at everything through these lenses, okay? So I want to give you some important dates and then a really great analogy that I like to use that will not only for this month, but forever help you better understand the Mercury retrograde cycle and best use it and understand some of this jargon, okay? So I'd like to make the jargon natural for you so you can understand it and really viscerally get it. October 21st starts the pre-Mercury retrograde shadow period. I'm going to explain this more. November 9th starts the actual retrograde. November 29th is when it goes direct. And then until 12/17 or December 17th is the post-shadow transit period. Okay, the post-retrograde shadow period. And these are very important. So here is my car analogy that I like to use, and this will help you understand how to navigate better through these times. October 21st, if you're listening to this early, this is the mark when the tides that were going out now are coming in. So for all of this month and into the middle of December, you're really going to be on the shore here waiting for the tides to bring you information and things to deal with rather than you trying to conjure or push things out in the waves, because anything you push out will come back to you during this retrograde time. Now, what happens as of October 21st is you are driving on the road and you are going full speed with everybody else. And then you realize, oh, I have to make a U-turn. U-turn energy is you've got to slow down while everyone else is still going fast or everything is going fast around you. You've got to go over several lanes, awkward, and then get to the median where you're going to turn around. Okay, so that process of the pre-shadow or pre-transit shadow period is like that process where things are starting to slow down, but other things are kind of moving, but things are kind of jumbled, and you've got to get to that safe space in the median to make your turnaround. So from October 21st to November 9th, you will be feeling that, the slowdown. The tides that were going out are coming in. There's that awkwardness of transition. The days around November 9th, you have arrived at the median where cars are whooshing behind you and whooshing in front of you, and you're trying to not get your car too far in one lane in front of you to get chopped off or get your car back too far in the lane. So that awkwardness of positioning is happening in the days around November 9th, not just that day. All right, they're extra haywire at those times. People think, oh, it's November 8th. Mercury's not retrograde yet. I can do whatever, that you're not supposed to do during Mercury retrograde. Wrong. Learned this the hard way. I have Aries rising and a ton of Sag, very action-oriented. When I first was learning about retrogrades, my teacher said, there's shadow period. You'll start to see the things happening in the retrograde. And I'm like, oh, but it's not retrograde. And I try to do the things all the stuff that I didn't want to do in the retrograde, I tried to do them right there in the shadow period. And guess what? Had the same kind of outcomes. So you will notice this. It's a precursor to it. And these days around are extra haywire. November 29th, the day it goes direct. You may think, the 29th, it's direct now. I can do all of my stuff. No, because now you are trying to get in moving traffic that is zipping around you and you are going 0 miles per hour. This is awkward. Be especially careful during these dates, the November 29th dates, okay? Now, once you get back into traffic, you have to get back up to speed with traffic. That's the time between November 29th and December 17th, the post-transit shadow period. That is the adjustment time. That is getting back up to speed. That is everything going in the same direction, getting aligned. So you will feel that. And the more you align with these natural rhythms, the easier things will be for you. So trying to make plans this month, a little bit difficult. Say yes in pencil instead of in pen. Tell people a soft yes or a maybe. And then if you have to change or cancel, then you won't feel as bad about having to go through the canceling. Also, if there are unnecessary appointments or things you can do before or after these dates, you may want to get those types of scheduling things done in those times because you're very likely going to have to reschedule more this month and you'll be on the phone driving yourself nuts trying to get a human on the line. To make this happen, just spare yourself all the drama and just try to do your other things around this, okay, before and after. If it's important and you have to do it, it's non-negotiable, your health is on the line, it's medically necessary, don't worry about the transits, do what you have to do. Okay, people ask me that question a lot. You don't delay a life or death situation because of the retrograde. You got to get it done. But if you have say in it, it's a lower stakes thing. You honor these rules, it can be easier. All right, so now that we know we're looking at everything through a retrograde lens, we know that we're waiting for things to come to us instead of conjuring. I will tell you that inspiration may be naturally coming, and this is because of Sag. Mars will get to Sag early in the month. Mercury is already there. Star goddesses Juno, Vesta, Estrella already there. The sun will get there later in the month. All of this is fantastic for Libra because fire and air speak the same language. That watery energy doesn't speak your language. Still wonderful gifts can come from it. It's just a little bit more awkward for the Libra mind to process, all right? But Sag stuff, you get that. That's why when I get together with my Libra friends, we are just gabbing it up. We're intellectually connecting. We're getting it. The air and the fire are going, and it's good. So all of these fire placements are going to make a lot of smooth things going for you that aren't these Scorpio things, okay? You'll have a little bit of more resistance with those. But this is lighting up your house of communication and your house of relatives. Anything from cousins, aunts, uncles, whoever. There may be a lot of activity here at this time. Blasts from the past are huge at this time. If you're looking for a job or looking for an opportunity or looking for activities, whatever it is, going back to old things, places you've been before, things you did before, employers you had before, those all may be more easier flowing at this time because the retrograde tends to lean back. You may find something new at this time, and that's okay. If you need a job, I have this happen all the time. People will ask me, I've been needing a job, but the job came in now finally in Mercury retrograde. Do I take it? Quick answer is if you need money, you need a job, you have to take the job, right? We don't defy logic here when we're making choices in Mercury retrograde. When it really matters is if you have to sell all of your prized things to move across the world for a job and it comes to you in Mercury retrograde, you may want to try to postpone that decision because the stakes are higher. And when things change, as they often do, if you've sold everything and now you don't like the job, that is a tougher thing to navigate. So if you can put off making the final decision, stretch out the paperwork a little bit to be able to get more clarity, dive deep really into what is going on. If you have to make this big decision, big decisions are harder during this time. But small decisions like you need a job, one comes to you, you can take the job, right? So we don't have to say no to opportunities at this time. Also, if you need a job and you're having trouble finding one, short-term gigs, part-time gigs, or like diversifying where you're making a little money here and there, the Sag energies love that. So if you need something like that, that is very beneficial at this time. So as I was saying before, I'm calling the Scorpio energy the labyrinth and calling Sagittarius energy the lantern. And so this theme this month is the lantern and the labyrinth. So you're diving deep into the labyrinth, this maze of your inner world and the interworkings between you and other people and these deep relationships of power and, intensity and just, mystery. But then the lantern comes through all the Sag energy that's shedding a light on some of this, deep, dark abyss. So it all will be happening this month. And as the month progresses, we'll phase out of all the Scorpio stuff and it will just be about Sag. Devices, appliances, cars, all of those, vehicles, movement, mobility, all of those topics are going to be coming up and you'll probably be really, really busy. Sag energies are mutable. They go in an upward spiral, moving through your Libra house of Gemini, the third house. Also an upward spiral. So things are over here, they're over here, they're over here. They're very scattered. They're very social. You'll be interacting with a lot of people. That will be happening this month for sure. All right, I want to give you some more dates now. Let's talk from the beginning of the month. November 5th, we've got the full moon at 13 degrees of Taurus. This is fullness, completion, fruition, drama, for better or worse, happening in your Scorpio house of the 8th house. We started out the discussion by talking about that 8th house because of all the Scorpio transits. So now we have another touch point where the hidden space becomes revealed, where the mysteries become enlightened, where the lantern lights up the abyss. And something is showing up in your money, your power, your close relationships, intimate business, otherwise, or you may get more information about a source of money, or it may just come in. And then, let's see, on the 11th, Jupiter will go retrograde. This will happen for about 4 months. Things that were racing ahead in your career and work may start to go backwards and you might get nervous. Don't worry about it. As we say in New York, don't worry about it. So Jupiter is the great expander. It is the builder of skyscrapers. And When Jupiter is direct, it's building, 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 expanding, which is what's been happening since June, maybe a little sooner, for work and career and employment for Libra. When Jupiter goes retrograde for about 4 months starting now, it may seem like the blessings or the expansion have slowed and you may get worried. This is just Jupiter making sure that your foundation is strong enough to hold up the height of the skyscraper that you're building in this arena of your life, okay? The other arena that's getting a lot of building action is home and family and housing and your inner world, because that's the sign that Jupiter is going through. So if you see something start to slow down, maybe the Mercury retrograde, could be the Jupiter retrograde, but then on the 27th, Saturn goes direct, and certain other things in your life may just wake up, things you've been working on, long-term things, all of a sudden maybe getting some steam. Some of the best advice I can give you for making the retrogrades not just easier, but more pleasant, and actually really pleasant, is that when certain things start not going well, if those things really aren't necessary to deal with at this time, just let them fade out. And the things that light up, go with those things. You know, if you have to feed your family or you have to do something that is non-negotiable, still do those things. But if it's something that really isn't necessary or isn't necessary now, and it's not getting the traction you want, some other things will likely be lighting up. Follow those things. And hold on for last minute magic. That's my favorite attribute of what I see happen in the retrograde time, especially, you know, the personal planet retrogrades like this. Personal planets are the ones closest to us, Mercury, Venus, Mars. So during these type of retrograde transits, the last minute magic comes in where something comes out of the blue where it's like, hey, you want to go do this? Well, yes, because Annie said leave things unscheduled. So therefore I have this time open now and I can go with you for that fun thing. So this is the kind of thing that happens, and this is a blessing. One other point about Mercury retrograde that I think will really be helpful to you to make this month the best possible, and then I'll give you some more dates after that, is that Mercury's retrograde, or in its, you know, shadow periods, 6 months of the year, if you total, not in a row, but it's half the time. People get irritated with that. Why is it retrograde again? Because we are meant to have reflection, quiet time, and going back over things to get caught up. In fast-paced life, whether it was back then or now, everyone always thought it was fast-paced, right? In comparison, it's more now more than ever, and seeming increasingly so. In those periods of time where we're looking to the future, you know, creating a bunch, planning, doing all this stuff, you know, not being present in the moment, the retrogrades bring things front and center to us, like the dishwasher has to be dealt with. It's been failing. It's been leaking. Now it finally went out. Or like things that have needed attention that you've been too busy and they haven't been the squeakiest wheel, now become the squeakiest wheel. So you get like really very much on the shore, like I said. Instead of spending time putting your boats afloat, you're seeing and listening deeply. What is it that needs attention right now? I'm going to be present for that. And that helps to keep everything in balance. So it's a beautiful opportunity to regain balance in a world where it's exceedingly hard to do that. All right, so let's see. We talked about the new moon on the 19th. We talked about Saturn direct on the 27th. Okay, so my favorite date of the month is November 26th. When I give you these dates, it's always the days around those dates too, because these energetics don't just usually happen during only one day. They're before and after. So in the days around the 26th, Venus, which has now moved into Scorpio, your second house, Venus rules the second house. Venus rules money and love and relationships, finances. Now Venus is going to make this beautiful aspect with Jupiter, the great benefic, the great bringer of luck, in your house of employment, work, career, your place out in the world. For those of you who are retired or who don't need to make money, this is just still your place out in the world. It just may be that you're out in the world not making money or not focusing on money. These can be passion projects. These can be, you know, things that you're doing out in the world, whatever it happens to be, tutoring someone at the library, people, you know, whatever it is you're doing out in the world for money or not. The 10th house rules this space. And now with Venus and Jupiter making a beautiful aspect in your money house and your place out in the world / employment house, you may get extra blessings at that time. If you've tried to get a job and they said no, and you really want that particular job, this could be a month to try again. There was a company before I became self-employed, started having businesses. I worked for a company, and I wanted the job so badly. Actually, I didn't work there yet. I wanted it so badly. I was stalking them mercilessly. Not an easy job to get. Very coveted job. And I kept going back to try to get the job. And don't you know, I did get the job. So if you have that type of job that you're like, gosh, I really want to do this, this could be a month that you go back and try again, and that you get some good news around this time, or you use this time to go back and try again. All right, because there's just extra blessings in those arenas for you at this time. Okay, so if you didn't already, go to AnnieHelpsYou.com, grab that free November Sweet and Salty Star Report, as well as all of these other goodies that I have, including early access to all of my content before it goes public at AnnieHelpsYou.com. If you want personalized reports from me, you like my style, you want to see what I have to say about other things in your personal chart, go to AnnieBClarity.com. Annie, the letter B, Clarity.com. I give you lots of free opportunities for learning. Most of the work I do in the world is free. Most of the time I spend doing work is making free stuff. This has always been true. But if you want something more organized than the mini lessons that you get, at AnnieHelpsYou.com, then the lessons I give you in reports like this, then go to my astrology certification course page, beastropro.com, beastropro.com. If you want to learn astrology like for real, you want to do it for a profession, or really be able to be adept at helping yourself and your family and friends, you want to earn money, I can teach you how to do that. So go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.